Nick, has the meeting started?
Member Mosdeen, we are waiting for Linda Young to do her oath.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I now call the April 3rd, 2025 Senior Citizens Advisory Board meeting to order. Has this meeting been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law?
Yes, it has.
Thank you. Would the Deputy City Clerk call the roll, please?
Chair Overeer Cameron,
Present.
Member Galati,
Present.
Member Mosdeen,
Present.
Member Drum, excused, Member Lee, Member Graham,
Present.
Member Tilzer,
Present.
Member Young. Thank you, Chair. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Deputy City Clerk. Item number 3 on the agenda, public comment. Comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. And as you come, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Paolo Sarnataro with Nevada Free Taxes Coalition. PAOLO-SARNATARO.
I am Daniel Rezetko, REZETKO. I can probably just stand up and do that. Whenever you're ready. Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. We are both the Nevada Free Taxes Coalition, which is a nonprofit organization that provides free tax preparation to low-income individuals and families. We are here to raise awareness of a critical issue affecting our community, the alarming prevalence of scams targeting our senior citizens. Over the past several weeks, we have initiated an awareness campaign focused on combating fraudulent tax preparation services and identity theft through stealing of senior Social Security numbers. Alarmingly, 48% of Americans report receiving fake IRS communications, often through email, texts, messages, or phone calls. Many remain unaware that the IRS never initiates contact to request personal or financial information through these channels. This misinformation leaves our senior citizens especially vulnerable to exploitation, and we are determined to address it. One of the ways we are working to expand this campaign, as well as our free tax services, is through the AmeriCorps RSVP grant. Hopefully, this grant will allow us to shift more resources directly towards serving senior citizens in our community. This includes extending our scam awareness efforts and connecting with senior citizens to offer free tax preparation services. Crucially, this grant also emphasizes the engagement of senior citizens as volunteers within our organization. Today, we are asking for your support in amplifying awareness of our initiatives and encouraging senior citizens to join us as volunteers. Their involvement will empower us to better support low-income families while actively fostering a stronger, more connected community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. We greatly appreciate the information, and it does tie in right to our number 5 that we're coming up to. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Seeing and hearing none. Item number 4, for possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular meeting of March 6th, 2025. Do I have any amendments or a motion to approve? Does anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the meeting of April 25th. March 25th, correct.
Yes, March 6th, 2025.
25, yes.
So we do have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of March 6, 2025. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item number 5, presentation by Edward Schrock, Chief Compliance Audit Investigator, Nevada Secretary of State, regarding investment scams, fraudulent schemes, and con artist tactics that affect elderly and vulnerable persons, all wards. Please state your name for the record.
Hello, Edward Schrock Jr., spelled S-R-O-K.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here from the Nevada Secretary of State's office, Francisco V. Aguilar, in regards to the Securities Division. The Securities Division is not well known. We do a lot of stuff, and we do a lot of stuff to help the elder and any older adult, vulnerable adult. And I was going to go through the PowerPoint that we offer to the public. We have done quite a few of these outreach programs, and we're looking to do more to make the elderly aware of our services and some of the scams that are affecting our elder adults, vulnerable adults, and just regular adults and younger individuals. First thing I want to say is, biggest thing that we're seeing is it's basically pump and dumps, okay? And what goes on here is, how many of you guys have got a message on your phone? Investment group, okay? Stock picking group, or Facebook, WhatsApp, Viber, any of those social media sites where, sign up. We'll give you great advice, okay? A lot of times they use an individual's name that is a well-known individual, okay? And the example I have is, we had a scenario in regards to an individual invested $150,000 because he thought he was in a special stock picking group, okay? He got the social media, Facebook, he was told to join WhatsApp, and the name, which I left out, that he saw in the group was a managing director and chief investment strategist for a very prominent financial service company. So when he looked at the name, he knew the name, and he thought, oh wow, this is awesome, okay? I'm gonna follow this group. I'm gonna join WhatsApp, okay? And so he did. And he listened, and it's basically all a scam. And they told him to invest in a certain stock. He did. And if you watch the stock, it was going up because that's when the scam was happening. He was also nice enough then to tell his wife to, hey, honey, why don't you invest $100,000 also? So together, both, they invested a lot of money in this, and as soon as it got to a certain point, guess what? Money was taken out, all dumped, he lost everything. And his wife wasn't too happy either. But we get these all the time. People respond to these, hey, this is Tom, I have you in my phone book, or hey, you're on my phone, hey, are you a friend? Okay, and they promise big rewards, okay? This individual even posted, I can't believe I continue to have to post this, but anything you purportedly see from me on Facebook or Instagram is a scam. I do not have a stock picking club and will never solicit money from anyone. Please don't get duped, okay? And I left the name out, but this is a high-ranking individual at a very prestigious company that, if I mention the name, most of you guys would say, oh yeah, but they're not allowed to do that, okay? And individuals fall for that, okay? Nevada consumers lost more than $138 million fraud in 2024, according to FTC, Federal Trades Commission, okay? And so what do? Securities Division, okay? We have registration and licensing. Okay, first of all, the Securities Division, our goal basically is to make sure that individuals are properly licensed if they're an investment advisor or broker-dealer at a state level, okay? We go in and we audit them. We review their books, okay? We look at what they do. But first of all, registration and licensing, they must be registered and licensed in the state of Nevada, okay? So we have a team that basically reviews that. Next is my team, okay, compliance, inspection, and investigation. And under NRS 90, we have the power to inspect, okay? We can do investigations, we can issue subpoenas. So my team basically go in for investment advisor, broker-dealers, registered in the state of Nevada, that are state registered, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, making sure that they're taking care of the elder person. Making sure that if they say, hey, I'm going to charge you this, let me see, are you actually charging this? Okay, making sure that if they're a certain age, depending on what, you have put down that your goals are that you don't have an 80 individual that's in aggressive stocks. Okay, investment advisor may be making a lot of money, but is that the best scenario for that individual? Okay. We also have a criminal investigation team that will do criminal. My team, we basically go civil. Okay, we can do cease and desist, we can order subpoenas. Okay, but our goal is to make sure you're doing what you do. We also investigate complaints, and that's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't know. Okay, so if you yourself fall for a possible scam or something, you can file a complaint with the Securities Division, and we will look into it, either on my side of the team or on the criminal side, depending on what the complaint is, what it involves. We're there to help the individual, okay? We do investor education, okay? That's what I do, okay? Besides managing my team, try to also get out there to senior centers, community centers. Was just out recently in Pahrump to the Rotary Club, did a presentation to inform them of, first of all, the scams out there, okay? Biggest thing I want to say is what we can do. We can investigate. We can investigate individuals, okay, for registrations, licensing. There are the scams when people try to tell you to buy stock, invest. They're not registered. They're not licensed in the state of Nevada, okay? We can do civil actions to stop these actions. We can do civil penalties, okay? And we look into those businesses. What we cannot do, okay? We cannot guarantee we'll get your money back. We try to get the resources to help, but we cannot guarantee that, okay? And we do not give legal or investment advice. People call us and say, hey, what's the best stock? Okay, that's not what the Securities Division is. So, investment scams that are out there that are targeting, and we see a lot of these here in Nevada, okay? Southern Nevada, northern, the little states, the little cities in between, Ponzi, pig butchering, pump and dump, advanced fee, cryptocurrency, and affinity. And I'll talk a little bit about those, okay? I'm sure you guys have seen this lovely individual, okay? 65 billion. 65 billion is what he stole from individuals, okay? He promised a 77% annualized yield, okay, return. This scam lasted 17 years, okay? As of September 22nd, only about 4 billion had been returned to 40,000 victims. Okay, and we think, oh, Ponzi, everyone knows what a Ponzi scheme is. You guys, they're going on every day. Okay, people are not aware. People, especially the elder group is usually very trustworthy, okay? Some of them want, a friend. They want to talk to someone, okay? Maybe they don't have as many family members in that, and they like the social interaction, so they like to talk to people, and they're trustworthy. They believe, okay? They aren't always, well, everyone's trying to rip me off, okay? So affinity fraud is a big one that we see, and this is an individual. Okay, I'm coming here today to speak to you guys. And I know I just can't join this group, but say if you guys are a social group, okay, and I start coming all to the meetings, okay, maybe we have a little luncheon, I bring a nice spread, I help clean up all the time, and I start talking to everyone, getting to know everyone, getting personable with you guys, okay, and then maybe we're just sitting down having a little lunch with, say, 6 of us are sitting at a table, and I just nonchalantly, get off my phone and say, oh, just made $5,000 on my investment, okay? Not really soliciting anyone, but saying it loud enough that someone hears. I'll guarantee you 1 or 2 of you might ask a question. Oh, wow, who's your investment advisor? Oh, it's Nick. I've known Nick for years, okay? Nick's helped my family. Nick's helped everyone, okay? Hey, if you want his number, I'll give it to you. This is what these individuals, they join groups, churches, okay? They'll come into the church, they'll get to know everyone, they'll be the greatest person, okay? They'll be, oh, I trust Ed, he's great, he does everything, okay? But they have one goal in sight. They may be a church member for a year, and then they start just saying, hey, Bobby, hey, I know this person, great stock right now, or something like that, and people fall for it. Saw a big one where the individual got involved in the church. We're talking millions of dollars that the parishioners invested in. You know what their return was? Zero. I don't think any of you guys want a zero return, right? Not even your investment that you invested. Okay, so you have to be careful. Why are they talking to you? Why are they bragging to you? Why are they trying to solicit you? Okay, there's got to be a reason, because when you invest, you want that money, right? You want to be that investor. You don't want all these people coming in and have to share the profits. Or why are they reaching out to you out of the blue? Okay, Ponzi schemes. Las Vegas business owner sentenced to prison for $5 million Ponzi schemes. Sports betting investment company owner, $8.5 million. Las Vegas man sentenced for defrauding several victims, nearly $300,000. These aren't 10 years ago, 15 years ago. These are things that have been going on, okay? So these scams are out there. These are professional scam artists. They don't care if Granny has to live on the street, that Grandpa doesn't have no money for food. As long as they get all their money, that's all they care about. So pig butchering scam. It's an actual name. I didn't make this up, okay? Those text messages you get, okay? Those emails, dating apps, social media platforms. Hey, is this so-and-so? Or who is this? I have you in my phone book. Or, hey, are you interested in that? Don't even reply to those. If you reply, you get put on, again, not my name, suckers list, okay? Because they know that's a good number. They know they can reach out to you. They know they could somehow get you. And the elderly love responding, okay? They love saying, well, no, this is, and I can use a great example. My mother-in-law lives in Youngstown, Ohio. She's bored. She's older, okay? Facebook is, she loves it, okay? And I tell her, Facebook is entertainment. It's not an investment site. It's not, okay, be careful. But she'll respond. No, this is Mary Rita. Who's this? Please stop that, Mary Rita. They're not trying to be your friend, okay? I received this not a little while ago. Investment, pig butchering. Hey, join it. And the name, okay, I Googled the name, who it was. If you Google the name, this individual is a well-known person at an establishment, okay? So you look at the criteria for her and like, wow, she knows what she's doing. The gentleman that I told you about the $150,000, and then he got his wife to do $100,000. That's what he saw the individual saying. He's like, wow, this person is high up there in the company, knows what they're doing. They'll know the stocks. They'll know everything. Okay. Commodity investments, metals, cryptocurrencies, huge right now. And we have elders, sadly, thinking, oh, don't know what's going on in the world? I'll buy gold, okay? Or I'll buy cryptocurrency, not even understanding cryptocurrency, okay? And these investors are pushing them, okay? Crypto scams stole $10 billion from Americans last year, mostly older people. People in the U.S. reported losing $10 billion crypto scams in 2024. People 60 years and older filed much more claims than any other group. You guys, this number is probably double. A lot of people don't file a report because they're ashamed, they're embarrassed, they don't want their family to know. Okay, so sadly, the number is higher, and they don't understand what's going on. I mean, precious metals. We had an individual, he thought, okay, I'm gonna buy gold bullion, okay? This was before the election, and they sold them on, you don't know what's gonna happen. Hey, you better invest in something solid, the world's gonna fall apart. Individual did, $200,000, took out of his 401k, okay? I'm sure you know what happened. I mean, $200,000, how many of you guys can afford to lose $200,000 today? Anyone? Oh, I thought your hand was up. Okay. You guys, these things are going on every day. I mean, these are specialists targeting elder individuals, widows, okay? Recently lost their spouse, or, they see they're lonely, okay? They attack them on the social media sites, get to be their friends, okay? 185 million fraud targeting the elder in precious metals, okay? $40,000 from his IRA, okay? This one, we've seen a couple of these. You see the ads for gold, buy gold bullion, okay? Or any type of gold, okay? Silver. He actually did purchase it, okay? So it is legit in that, but he didn't read the contract, okay? The contract basically said the individual selling you this is a salesperson which earns a commission, okay? And it even said in all the paperwork, which they give you paperwork like it's, you know, the novel War and Peace, you know, enough pages that after the first 3 pages you give up. It says that the gold will be marked up from 2 to 35%, okay? He never saw that, okay? And it even said that when you buy that gold, you need to keep it for a period of time to try to make up that money, because this individual purchased, was it $40,000 worth of coins? Right where he signed, and I even put it in there, you have 24 hours following issuance of this invoice to cancel your purchase without penalty, so it's not much time. The spread is 34%. So this elderly gentleman, the minute he wired $40,000 and they did the transaction, he lost 34%. So he filed a complaint form. We read the contract, and it's, I mean, it says it all over the contract, but he did not see that as soon as he buys it, his value is going to be reduced by that 34%, because that's not the cost of the gold. That's what the salesperson makes in commission. And we've had a couple of these where the elderly say, well, it's so much to read. Okay, well, you need to have someone else read it. You need someone to help you. And that's what we try to get out there and say, they're going to sell you on this gold. I mean, gold is good, but you need to be smart and understand what you're doing, because they don't tell you, hey, Joe, just so you know, the minute you buy it, transaction goes through, you're going to lose $50,000, $100,000, or whatever. Okay? Do your homework is what we try to teach these individuals. Okay? Are you contacted out of the blue? You know, for the elderly person or vulnerable person, you know, profile photos. What's their, you know, what are they sending you? Does it look just too far-fetched? Okay? Now. Hurry up. Come on, Joe, you need to do this today. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. Okay? It's a sure thing. Yeah, it's not. We all know nothing's a sure thing, right? I mean, when they say that, you know, location, look it up. 0 risk. Bernie Madoff said, oh, there's no risk. Bernie Madoff had some high-end people with CPA working for them who even said, yes, and let's invest. There's no risk. Can anyone tell me anything that's not a risk? I mean, there's always a risk involved, okay? Look at their credentials, okay? Unrealistic groups. You met it on Facebook is not a stock investing advice site. It's an entertainment site. WhatsApp, Viber, okay? All those sites, they're not stock investing groups, okay? And that's what we try, because, and I'll use my mother-in-law, Mary Rita, she loves. I mean, she almost got scammed out of $150,000, okay? And I can tell this story because it's my aunt, I know the host there. She got a phone call. It was the local police department where she lives in Ohio, okay, and supposedly the bank president. They sold her on, hey, we have fraud going on in the bank. We have people stealing, okay? You need to wire the money to another bank until we find out who's stealing it. We'll take care of your money. We'll give it right back to you after it's done. She says, well, who is this? And he says, I'm detective so-and-so, okay, and I'm so-and-so bank president, which she didn't know, if you know anything. They gave her a phone number. Never call the phone number the individual gives you. Look it up, okay? But Mary Rita, I mean, she did ask, is this fraud? And they said, no, Mary Rita, this is very serious. And this is honest. I mean, If I could, I'd give you the information. You can call her and verify. She went to the bank, okay, and she told the teller, I want to wire $150,000. The bank should have done a little bit more. Just, first time ever wiring money of $150,000. That's, to me, I don't think you can get a bigger red flag than that, okay? Teller goes, Mary Rita, it's not going through. The routing number and account number you gave me does not work. Forgot to mention, this is on a Friday, okay? Friday afternoon on the East Coast, okay? So she goes back home, she calls them and says, hey, I must have wrote the account number down wrong. Can you give it to me again? So she did. And she wrote it down. She drove all the way back to the bank, okay? And she says, here, let's do this wire. Well, have any of you guys wired before? Okay, you know that at a certain time, the Fed line goes down, okay, which means wires cannot be sent, and Friday, especially on a Friday, it's held to the next business day, which would be Monday. She called my wife, okay, my wife called me, contacted the bank, we talked. My first question was, did the Fed line go down? They said, yes, it's held till Monday. Okay, she's gonna come back to the bank, it's fraud. That is the only thing that protected her from sending $150,000 in a wire that she would have never seen. I mean, she cried on the phone forever, and we tried, we were nice to her and said, Mary Rita, you can't do that. You can't. Why? Why didn't you call us? Well, they told me not to call no one. Again, if they're telling you not to call anyone, not even your family member, okay, that's probably the second biggest red flag out there, okay? But so she got her money back, but now she's on that, remember I said earlier, that list? And she's like, what do I do? Well, you need to get a new phone with a phone number. Well, I've had this one forever, I don't want to, everyone has it. Well, then you're gonna get texts, calls daily, okay, probably hourly, and she does. But she won't change her number because all her friends have her number, okay. Investment professionals, okay. Again, anyone who sells in the state must be licensed to do that. That's what we check, okay? They must be registered, okay? So we verify that. There are bad people out there that say they are, but they're not. On our website, which I'll show you later, they can verify if they're licensed and they're legitimate, okay? So if you think you're a victim of fraud, okay, file a complaint with our office. www.nvsos.gov, okay? Or you can call our number, 702-486-2440. Also, Monday through Friday, we have investigator on duty. One day a week, an investigator is assigned to answer the phones. So it doesn't go to the receptionist or that. I mean, it might go to voicemail if that person's on the phone, but we try to help the individual. Again, we can't give stock advice, okay? We get a lot of those calls. Is this a good stock? I don't know, okay? But if you go to our website also, okay, Secretary of State's website, it looks like the top was cut off a little. Okay, securities, you can go, and if you see down when you hit securities, you'll see file complaint online, file complaint PDF version, those are the options to file a complaint. Also on our site, on the left, you'll see is my investment professional license. You have broker check, okay, and SEC investment advisors, where you can look up, even if any of you have investment advisors, look it up. I tell a lot at these senior centers and that, if someone approaches you or you're thinking of moving to someone because they're giving you a great sales pitch, first of all, think of what they're saying. Are they guaranteeing you anything? Are they promising you anything? Did they ever say this is risk-free? Okay? Or, hey, we need to do this. Look them up. See if they're licensed in the state of Nevada. If they're not, let us know. So we can, stop them from doing what they're doing, because our goal is help the public, okay? Especially, any age group, but elders seem to be a little bit vulnerable. Some of them may not have as much in the 401k or the investments for retirement. They want to grow it quick, and this big promise, it's like, okay, let me do that. But I'm trying to teach, we are trying to teach these individuals, just step back. Nothing's rush, 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 rush. Okay, you don't have to buy that car in 2 seconds or the price is going to go up in 3 seconds. Okay, same thing with the stock, investment, anything that involves that. Bottom line, education and knowledge. Okay, look at what you do. Read the paperwork. You bought that gold. Okay, but did you read that they're going to charge you up? What if the gold is $1? They're going to charge you 34% higher, up to 35%, just for the commission from that person selling it. So right off the bat, your gold, how much you paid, if you took it out of your investment, which the individuals did take it out of their investment, and they're like, wait, what happened? And, you know, it's gone. Yeah, you have the gold, but now you got to keep it, maybe, hopefully, try to make it up in 10 plus years, depending on how gold fluctuates, but it's usually not that much to make 34, 35% in a year. Okay, and if it's probably too good to be true, it is. Okay, and that's what we try to educate when we go out for these community outreach programs and talk to the individuals. Okay, why are they calling you? Okay, why are they reaching out to you? Did you ever ask that question? Okay, if it's such a great deal, wouldn't they just be telling their family and friends, not, hey, Joe, don't know you, but got this great stock for you, got this great investment, got this great thing for you to, you know, let's take your money, you know, self-directed fund. Like the individual, I mean, he had a self-directed fund when he was told that he's in this great stock picking group to buy this one stock, and he's like, okay, so he did it on his own, because when you're in a self-directed, you could do the transaction on your own. So that's what our division does, and that's what we're trying to get out to the community, that first of all, they need to be aware of, you know, who they're talking to. Even someone that they know, okay, that they've met. Oh, but Ed's a great person. He's always at our meetings. You know, he says he made a lot of money. Okay, well, okay, how well do you know Ed? Well, he's always here. Okay, just do some homework. Okay, don't answer those phone calls that you don't know who it is. Okay, don't call back, you know, answer, say, sorry, this is not Joe. I don't know why you're calling me. Okay, or text back, yeah, I don't know who you are. Because then they just, well, who is this? And like Mary Rita, she actually says, no, this is Mary Rita, who's this? Like, please don't do that, Mary Rita. And don't post everything on Facebook. So, any questions?
Yes, Chair O'Rear Cameron, my first question is, financial planners, do they fall under your purview?
Yes.
And are they allowed to be out doing seminars on wills and trusts?
There is a limit to what they can do or say. Okay, they can't make any promises. Okay, under NRS, you know, there are some rules under that. So it all depends on what they're presenting, how they're presenting it. You know, if they're just talking general, okay, but if they're given specifics, you know, oh yes, this will give you a 50% return. I mean, there's each case is scenario as to what they say. So we try to get that information and understand what did they say to sell the product. Okay, how did they sell it? Did they just present themselves? Hi, my name's Ed. You know, I'd love to help you. You know, I'd love to see if I can, you know, increase your assets, you know, your money and that. So it's hard to give a specific one word, but you know, that's what we look at. What did they say? When we get a complaint, the first question is, tell us what they said. What did they give you? Did they give you a brochure? Okay, did they give you a link to a website that we can hopefully grab before they take it down? Or, you know, a lot of times it's, oh no, it's on WhatsApp. Okay?
Yeah.
And we all know WhatsApp is, you know, it'll be gone.
So
So it is depending on how they present themselves and what they say.
okay, and I'll go ahead and tell you a little more about it so that it'll give it clarity. Document prep planners who are also financial planners and doing these types of seminars and then doing the follow-up appointments to help people with putting these things into place. And I know with doc prep companies, it is supposed to be just plugging the information in because they are not an attorney, they are not licensed. But this is the crossover that we're seeing happening here in Southern Nevada. And I'm just trying to get clear on how it's possible if it's not really their expertise.
Okay, so if they're giving advice on any investment information, first of all, they need to be licensed in the state of Nevada. So, I mean, if you have individuals, we get that information, we can look into what they're doing, what they're offering, what they're presenting, what they're telling the general public, okay? And if you have anyone that has been with them and they were offered a product to that, to contact us to see. But first of all, I would just see if they're licensed, okay? But filing a complaint with us, we can look into it.
Charles Lee, Ward 5.
Sorry, Charles.
How do the scammers get your personal information?
Say again?
How do they get your personal information to make the initial phone calls?
Well, there's a lot of, there's a dark web, there's Facebook, there's social media. If you Google, anyone's name, you can sort of get their information. They love working, even off obituaries, okay? And, where it says so-and-so is deceased and, he leaves his wife, Joanne, or, something. And then you can research anything on the internet to get a phone number. There's various ways and sources. But the biggest thing is Facebook, WhatsApp. Hey, how many of you guys get those Facebook things that say, how many of these could you answer? They ask, what's your first dog's name? Okay, what's your first car? What are those questions? Those are security questions, right? You have a bank. What's one of the security questions? What was your first car? Who was your first best friend? Who's your first car? God, I'm getting your pet's name, and stuff like that. Who was your high school mascot? And they think it's a game. Ooh, wow, I answered 10 out of 10. But you just realize that you put information on there for confidential information to get in. But to get someone's phone number, obituaries you can pull up. And people are willing. Mary Rita is my mother-in-law, so I can say it. She loves making friends on Facebook, which we told her stop. And it's just, she's bored, okay? It's her entertainment. Can't take it away from her because that's what she needs to do. And she's just one example, but there's a lot of other examples out there. Individual, that I met in Beatty. He's a retired veteran, lives in Beatty, on social media. He was offered to buy gold, okay? And he did buy gold. When he got his shipment, they used a legitimate company name, okay? And so he looked it up and thought, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'll send some money. He sent money, he got it back. He got washers. He's got some, if you need washers, you can contact him, but he didn't get enough washers to cover how much money, but it's like, so how did you meet these? Well, it was on, social media, WhatsApp, and, I just responded and said hi, and we started talking, and they offered this, and, okay, he says, yeah, when I'm bored, I just go on the site and talk to people, which is great, you need that social interaction, but when they're trying to sell you something, again, another red flag. I need a bunch of red flags. So, Charles, we probably can get your phone number, with not much, search, just general searching, and you go to the right sites, sooner or later you can probably come down to what your phone number is.
Just an observation and personal experience. My wife with Facebook.
Member
and,
Galati, could you please state your name for the record?
Galati, Ward 2. And what happened was they had famous people, actors, and had her convinced that to a point where it was he who was doing all this thing. Finally, it surfaced, but it was short of asking money. But I'm sure quite a few go through that. My question seems to be that in many ways, we're sitting ducks with artificial intelligence, because I notice even in Facebook, once you go on a website and you stay there longer than a minute, it will record your interest. And if you notice, do it next time, you will see that what you looked at all of a sudden appears repeatedly every time you go. So try it. And therefore, yes, some of them are legitimate companies doing it, but it could be abused by anybody. And therefore, investments and all the other things. So it's very difficult, especially for seniors.
And that's why we try to, inform the seniors, and if we get the information, depending if we can try shut them down. We have a civil team, we have a criminal team, we look into it, but a lot of time, they're up one day, they're gone. They get their victims, and they might be gone. Maybe we can backtrack and get the information, and that's what the individuals do, is try to look into that so we can shut it down. I mean, that's our goal, shutting it down so other people don't get scammed. And the second thing is the outreach program. Going out and talking to individuals, understanding that have fun. Facebook, first of all, don't give too much personal information, okay? But know that it's an entertainment site, okay? And there's a lot of fraud. I mean, hopefully, I don't know one day if it'll ever be fixed, but that's why it's just important to tell people, do not believe what's on Facebook, WhatsApp, Viber, any of those. I mean, in regards to buying stuff or scams. It might be legit, but as I said, do your homework. Okay, do your homework, research. Research the company. If they give you a phone number, don't call that phone number. Okay, I mean, they're going to give you a phone number to a burner phone, and you're going to call them like, my mother-in-law did. She called back that night. If she would have called the police department and said, hey, is Detective Ed there? Detective who? Detective Ed. There is no Detective Ed here. Well, I got a phone call. Here's the number. Well, that's not even our numbers in our system. She would have known, but she believed them. They do a good job on selling. That's their job. I mean, if they could make they would have made $150,000 off her in probably, 2-hour work? How many of you guys make $150,000 in 1 to 2 hours of work? So, anyone else? Yes, Linda.
Yes, Linda Young for the record. I don't know if it's your agency or what agency would a senior who has contracted with someone to do work around their home or contracted for maybe special support, maybe with facilities or a breakdown of items in their home, and then they get the service, but it's not the service that was promised, or it cracks up, or it doesn't follow, or doesn't do what it says it's going to do. Do they come to your agency or your organization, or do they go to another one?
The Securities Division under the Secretary of State's office, I mean, we only do with investments.
Okay.
Okay, investment scams, fraud.
Okay.
That, which I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of it.
yeah.
Well, sometimes it's a little bit of I can't say investment, but investment in your home, or this will increase the value of your house if you take care of this kind of.
So it's home improvement
Home
scam.
improvement, not quite home investment, but something to make the value of your home go up by investing in this particular product or
Yeah. No. I mean, for them to do the work in the house to help to increase, that would not fall under Securities Division.
And where would it go?
I mean, if they're an elder, I mean, there's always, depending on what it is, there's AP, Adult Protective Services.
Protective services.
And then there's other divisions, which I can't think of right now.
Chair Ober Cameron, so there are different divisions within the Secretary of the State, and so I've had to utilize several of them.
Yeah.
So it would kind of depend on exactly what it is. First of all, you always want to make sure you're checking licensing behind it, and make sure, and Google, like we keep talking about, see about any reputation, any complaints, that's what you're looking for, that type of thing. You would look at the contractors board if they're not doing what they're saying and it's supposedly some sort of contract. If it's a product, you can go through some other state agencies just to check on them. So there's a lot of different agencies you can go to. And you can go to APS, but it would be basically when you know that there has actually been, you know for sure. You want to do your due diligence first and then know for sure that there could be some sort of a mishap there. But there are different places that you can go to within our state agencies. And ADSD is always a good one to go to their website, adsd.gov, because they have a long list of resources for older adults.
To add on to that, Chair, if any of our members or seniors in the community are having trouble navigating, because Google is about as treacherous as a
Yeah.
Facebook or Instagram site can be, you have to know what you're looking for. So if you guys need any assistance in researching or verifying information, member Lee reached out to us in regards to a solar panel company he was not familiar with, and we did a little research for him, and there was some facts that did not line up, and we also advise seniors that if you are unsure or if you're questioning it, by all means, do not engage with that company, but you can always call the care coordination line, 702-229-1200, and a staff will be able to assist you with those inquiries.
Thank you. We thank you so much for your time coming to the board in such a wonderful, detailed presentation so that we can better understand the types of frauds and scams that are out there. Such an important subject right now. So we greatly appreciate your time coming here today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 6, discussion for possible action regarding the election of vice chair, all wards. And for this, we wanted to have the discussion because we do have that position open now. And so we just kind of wanted to discuss. First, I just wanted to talk about with vice chair. Obviously, if I was not to be at a meeting, then that's when the vice chair would be physically present to make sure that they can run the meeting. And the vice chair is basically in support of the board the same way that the chair is. And I know that we do have 2 new members on the board, so I don't know if we want to do any action on this, but we did want to just kind of have the discussion. First of all, see if anybody's interested, and we can get it on the next agenda if you would like for a vote or for more discussion. Any comments? Anyone want to step forward for vice chair, or you have any comments or questions on that?
Vito Galati, Ward 2. I was just thinking perhaps if we took a vote on it to begin, or submit names to you on a list, make a list, and gives us more time to think about it rather than already decide.
Yeah, that's what the discussion is about. So if you would like to put forth a name or your own name, please go ahead and do so today. That's a part of our discussion. So that then when we move forward to our next agenda, if you would like to vote on the next one, or if you would like to continue the discussion.
I just want to clarify, what I intended to say is if we have a list of people that are interested,
Yes,
and then we take a written, so we have time to ponder on it.
Yes, so that
rather than
means-
discuss it.
yes. Well, but that is part of the discussion. We have to discuss who would like to be vice chair before we make a list. That's a part of the discussion to make the list, is to know who would like to assume that role of vice chair. And then we'll get a list from there. And if anyone is not quite sure right now today, that's fine. We can continue the discussion at the next meeting. That's not a problem.
Nicole Graham, Ward 1. Is it only us on this board that can be part of vice chair, or is it anybody else?
It's just for the board.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
internal.
Yeah.
Got it. So
Yeah.
eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Right.
Got it, okay.
So if there's anyone that would like to put their name in for the vice chair position, you can do so today, or we will just continue this discussion on the next agenda, the next meeting.
Is there anything more additional with the vice chair besides in your absence, anything else?
Not really. I'm not going to scare you and say something. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I saw the look on your face. No, really not. It's basically a lot of the same things that the chair does, and it would be in the chair's absence, and also just working with the chair to put forth agendas, et cetera.
Okay.
Is there
I will-
interest?
Nicole is interest.
Who was the previous vice chair, or was there a previous?
Yes, that was Yvette Weinstein Hall, and she is termed out.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, she's termed out. So now we have the opportunity for a new vice chair. We want to get that role filled.
What's the term length?
Well, we can go into that more. Yeah, I was going to say, Gregory, you want to help me here? We can go into that more,
Length of the member. So however your term is.
yeah, with your terms. I know, and I know the terms have just changed so that we can match our council people and mayor, so it is a little confusing, but it'll be for your term. So if you want to put your name forward, go ahead. If not, that's fine too. We can go ahead and put this on the agenda next month as well, so everybody has a chance to think about it. And
Can we put someone else's name on it?
yes, you can nominate someone else, and if they choose to accept, then that's great.
Well,
I'm thinking Caroline was doing.
Mhm. Go ahead. If you would like to nominate Caroline, that's fine.
Peter Galati, Ward 2, would like to
Oops, you're not on.
Peter Galati, Ward 2, would like to nominate Caroline Mazdian for vice chair.
Are you with us, Caroline, still?
Yes, Caroline Mosey, Ward 6. I appreciate the thought, but I would have to pass on that. Thank you very much, so.
Okay, so she wants to pass on it. Does anyone else have any other nominations or self-nominations? If not, that's fine. We'll go ahead and put it on the next agenda if everybody is okay with that. That way you have time to think about it. Does that sound good? Okay. And item number 7, report by Gregory Gray, Management Analyst 1, Department of Neighborhood Services regarding senior issues received by the Department of Neighborhood Services, all wards. And we'll give them a minute.
Gregory Gray, for the record, I do not have anything to report at this time.
Thank you. Item number 8, report by board members regarding senior issues and events within their council wards and at large, all wards. We do have a new member with us today, and I will be sure and introduce her to you as we get to her ward. And if we could, for the interest of time, please keep it to no more than 5 minutes. Just do a quick summary because of the fact that we are already over our 2 o'clock time. It would be greatly appreciated. And we have Ward 1, Nicole.
Hello, Nicole Graham, Ward 1. Quickly, I guess, overview. I did a Access City Council with Councilman last month, and when it's no longer living at home safe. So it's a great little snippet, so definitely would encourage others to look at that. We have Leeburn Senior Center is doing educational series coming up every other month, so that's something looking forward to. So look for those at the resource area at Leeburn. Other than that, I think that's it for Ward 1. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll have to be sure and look at that. I actually didn't get to see it this time. I usually try to watch all of them. Ward 2, we have Vito.
Yes, Peter Galati, Ward 2. I attended the Senior Buzz meeting, and it's, as usual, very informative. The city marshals and Metro were there. One thing that hasn't come up, but I'm sure it's going to be brought up, was with the city marshals usually overlap coverage on issues that usually Metro handles, but I notice on the review journals, there is some sort of litigation going on that city marshals are overstepping their boundaries, and so that might be a concern also, because usually we run throughout the city of Las Vegas shorthanded with police covering the situations, and Metro and the city marshals did help. And I'm curious to see, and I urge others to follow, to see exactly how they're going to fix that. And hopefully it will not be just a draconian decision to say, okay, you cannot do that coverage, but rather come to some sort of workable decision. But anyway, on that thought, again, I will bring it up, matter of fact, when we meet again. We're going to have another breakfast buzz, and city marshals will be there. Maybe I can get some feedback from the ones that attend there. There's also a Art in the Park coming up April 17th at Bruce Trent Park, and it's an excellent time for the community to sort of get together. Artists showcase their work, and they're able to sell it to the community. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Vito. And Ward 3 is excused. Ward 4, myself, Deanna Rear-Cameron. So I was at the first Tuesday that we just did at Sun City Summerlin with the Summerlin Command. I actually had the pleasure and honor to discuss elder abuse. And one of the things that was interesting to me is the amount of people that talked to me after about scenarios and situations. So it was a great reminder to me how important it is to get the information out there for the elder abuse, and just to understand it a little more deeply, because there are so many areas and categories to elder abuse, and know when to call APS versus Metro, et cetera. So even when I speak on it, I love that I get so much feedback that reminds me of just how each individual case is literally specific and different, and not to put everybody in the same category. And then for the sake of time, I'll just skip to, we do have several events coming up that will definitely be great for the older adults. We have the memorial ceremony Thursday, May 22nd. And this is going to have the mayor, sheriff, Councilwoman Frances Ellen Polinsky, and it will be at Police Memorial Park. And Police Memorial Park has recently had some work done, and is going to be great to be back there. And also there is a walk of honor, which is wonderful, and they want you to bring a picture of anyone that may be in your family or friend that has served. And there's always events going on in Ward 4, so I highly encourage everyone to sign up for the newsletter. And you can also, if you are an online person, go to the city website to Ward 4, and it will have the flyers for all of the events. And then the other thing I did want to say is it's still a lot of calls on housing and crime. Those are my top two that I've had since our last meeting. And also for Ward 4, we have David Tilzer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On March 8th, we in Sun City had a home expo where we had many vendors come and show our residents places and ways to fix things, upgrade things, and make their homes safer. It ran late. It was a great success, and we do that 2 or 3 times a year, and it covers everything from contractors to windows to plumbing to outdoors. They try to cover everything, so that was great, and we'll have another one coming up probably in 4 or 5 months. On March 15th, we did document shredding, which is always a huge success because, especially around tax time, the people of Sun City love to clean out their houses. They see all these shows on just keeping way too much stuff. The cute thing I watched was a lot of them, when they give in their shredding, they watch it go into the bin, and then they won't leave until they see it go into the shredding truck. And that's just when I don't want to say you don't trust anybody, but you just have that little edge so you feel more comfortable when you see it go into that shredding truck. April 1st, as the chairperson mentioned, we had the elder meeting in Sun City. It was excellent. I listened to our chairperson, and I learned a lot that I didn't know about. I always thought elder abuse was elder abuse, and now I know elder abuse is like a tree, and each branch is a different part of elder abuse, a different issue. And there are so many now that I realize that we have to look at all of these at the same time, and it's just not lumped into one part. It's all these different options that could happen. We did have a financial issue in Sun City that affected everyone, and especially the older residents. There was an issue with the HOA charges, and I got a bunch of people, a lot, had reached out to me to just, they know we can't do anything at that point, they just wanted a vent. They were very concerned. They're either on fixed incomes or, as some of them said, very fixed incomes. And a vote was taken 3 times for what everybody had hoped would work out, and it didn't. So everybody got nervous, and quickly what it was, there would have been a 20% increase in our HOA fees every year for the next minimum of 6 years. And many of the people there would not be able to afford that. 20% every year for at least 6 years. What happened was it was taken to a judge, and actually last week the judge said that what we wanted to do, he approved it. It hasn't been signed yet, but he will sign it. We will not get the 20% increases. I've told as many people there as I could not to worry, everything will be fine. And it was just the people that didn't vote for it I spoke to, and some of them didn't understand what it was. Some of them felt if they didn't vote, it meant they voted for it. And some just didn't understand it enough to go for it. So it was a bunch of different options. 81% of the residents that voted for it was a great thing. The issue was it had to be a percentage of all residents. So the judge agreed that if 81% of everyone that voted for it, that was good enough for him to pass it. So that's been going on for almost a year, and it has now been straightened out. Everything is fine, and the seniors that are on very fixed incomes could now move on and sleep a little better at night. They were very nervous. Some of them would cry to me, and this is just in the past month since I've taken this position. And they are very relieved now, and we want to thank the judge for understanding that it was a crazy issue to begin with. And the only other thing, on April 25th and 26th, in Sun City, we'll be having our semi-annual garage sale. And that's when you get to put out in your driveway all of the junk you don't know why you kept, and someone will come along and say, how have I lived my whole life without that? So we do that twice a year, and that's coming up this month. And it's always fun. We send out a list of all the homes that are participating, and you just go to those, and it's a way to meet the neighbors and see people you've never met before and talk. And where are you from? Because nobody's from here. Where are you from? What state? I know somebody in that. So that's going to be very enjoyable, and I look forward to all of our items next month. And again, thank you for Monday night. It was very informative. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have Ward 5, Charles.
Charles Lee, Ward 5. The only thing I have is at the Doolittle Senior Center, they're looking for a target date when the construction is going to start on the entrance.
I'll have to look into that for you, Member Lee, but I'll have an answer for you by next week.
Oh, okay, thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you. And now I would like to take the time to introduce our newest member who was just sworn in. She was approved, I think it was just yesterday, right? And then also sworn in today before the meeting, and that is Miss Linda Young. Would you please just introduce yourself? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you. I'm very honored to be a part of this distinguished group of senior advisors and a much-needed committee. And I hope to be able to provide support and add to the direction and goals and objectives of the Senior Advisory Committee, and provide assistance to not only the city, but I believe I'm representing Ward 5, part of, or I'm at large. Or,
Are you in Ward 5? Is that? making sure. I think so, right? It is
Is
Ward
that
5.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, thank you, and feel free to call on me to be of any assistance, and
Yes.
I'm happy to come to your events as well.
Thank you, and welcome.
Thank
Warm
you.
welcome. We look forward to working with you on everything we do here on the board.
Okay.
And Ward 6, we have Caroline.
Thank you, Deanne. In the interest of saving time, what I'd like to do is just mention that there was a program that I attended, which was called HOAs 101, given by Nancy Bruni and several members of the Las Vegas staff who had come in to talk about HOAs, and they actually had plenty of time for questions and answers. If this is something that one of the other board members would be interested in, I'd be happy to share the information and/or give you some direction as to where you might be able to get something similar, because it was an excellent program, well attended by Ward 6 members. And then I would just like to remind people about a few things that are upcoming in the very near future, which is the Aviation Nation is this weekend, the 5th and 6th of April at Nellis Air Force Base. It's always well attended and is something very special, doesn't come up too often. So if people want to go out to see Aviation Nation with the Thunderbirds, that would be April 6th at Nellis Air Force Base. Then there's going to be a Bluegrass Festival, which is a very large and, again, very well-attended event. It's on April 12th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and that's at the Centennial Hills Amphitheater. And then a Spring Fling on April 19th at Floyd Lamb Park. So those are the upcoming, very close-in upcoming events that will be held shortly. And I'd like to remind people, as much as Chairman, excuse me, Deanne mentioned about newsletters, please once again always go and find newsletters that you'll be interested in and will enjoy. But I'd like to remind people as well about two other newsletters. One is the Clark County newsletter. So you may want to go to Clark County because they have some events that kind of cross over to some things that we do. And then also the City of Las Vegas TV. That has been updated and changed a bit over the past few months, but it is an excellent source of information, and it does provide you the opportunity, even on YouTube, to have a more detailed event with the council folks. Each of our council people do have the opportunity to speak and meet there, and there's some very good information, lots of good information on that. So please look up the City of Las Vegas TV, either on YouTube or directly, and I think you'll enjoy some of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. And I do want to say, please share the information that you had mentioned that you would be willing to do on the HOA. I was doing my best to try to get up there to that meeting because I know how important it is and because I get a lot of calls on HOAs and not even just in the city of Las Vegas. So it would be wonderful to have that, and I think David would also love to support in that situation, so he and I can maybe put something together for Sun City residents. So if you could pass that along, I'd greatly appreciate it. Item number 9, discussion for possible action regarding next steps and future meeting topics of the Senior Citizens Advisory Board, all wards. Is it possible to get our list, Gregory, of all of those, especially with our 2 new members, so that way they'll see all of the things and they'll know what to add to it or not?
Yes, Madam Chair, I wanted to list some of those items and
Perfect.
get some additional input from the board in regards to adding to those items due to the fact that we have 2 new members. So I know that we talked about housing as one of the issues that we wanted to discuss amongst the board. Transportation is one. Medical, scam and frauds, which we did cover. We did cover homelessness. We did a tour with the homeless services team. There's also, as a addendum to that, the Health and Wellness Initiative wanted to coordinate social events with the board. So in combination with the chair, we would like to host a senior coffee in your ward where you are able to meet your constituents along with your chair to be able to touch base with the community, get some insight from the community as well, and make your face known to your constituents. I know that some of you partner with your council person to do so, and we're asking that you do the same through senior services. So that is something that we are looking into doing. We have some tentative dates, but we will be reaching out to you all individually to see what your availability is over the next 3 to 6 months, so we can schedule those accordingly and get those as part of our calendar for the year. If you have any additional input, I am open to any ideas or suggestions you have.
Nicole Graham, Ward 1. I would like to see something on more with the aging population, but also with dementia, Alzheimer's, forgetfulness. I think that would be a great topic for us to review. I know Nevada is very high up on that population list of our population that does unfortunately have the disease, so I would like to bring that up for discussion.
Absolutely wonderful idea. I think we're still in the top 3.
Yes.
And what's interesting is how many people are living with stage 1 and do not realize the risk even at stage 1. And I think it would be wonderful if we could have a definitive speaker on the various stages and what to look for.
A very basic one, Nicole Graham, Ward 1, Dementia Friends. It's part of the DEAR program. Dementia Friends is a very general just overview of dementia. It does not get into the clinical, into the weeds, because once you get into the weeds, it can be very too much. But it is just a very general overview of just dementia, what to look for, being a good neighbor, and what that looks like. So that would be a great one. I am a champion, so I'm able to give the training, but I do have other colleagues that are able to also give the training, going to senior centers and just throughout. Right now, we are doing it with the UNLV nursing students as well as the med students, so we just want to continue to talk and just kind of bring that awareness about dementia, Alzheimer's. So a great option might be there as a training on Dementia Friends.
Wonderful. We'll definitely make that happen. We need it very much, that people can refer to. And all of these, just as a reminder too, all of these meetings are on YouTube. So we can definitely start giving out more of these YouTubes to constituents and to people so that they can go back and review, because you can always fast forward to the speaker if you don't want to hear all of us. So you can also, for yourselves and for the new members, you can go back on those as far back as you want to, so that you can definitely hear and see different speakers that we've had in different topics and discussions. Does anyone else have any other suggestions other than those mentioned? Housing, transportation, medical, scams, homelessness, and then the upcoming coffees with myself and you, obviously, with our constituents. And then the Dementia Friends, so we can talk a little bit more about what that looks like.
Okay, if I may, David Tills, Ward 4. I had mentioned earlier when I was talking to Gregory, about a week or so ago, I saw a car, and on the side it said Silveride, and it partners with RTC, and I thought what a great service that would be. And I went home and I did some research on it, and if the information I saw is correct, it really concerns me. When it has the breakdown of what they charge, to book a trip, to book a ride is $2 just to book a ride. It's $4 per mile on the ride. It's a minimum fare of $45 per ride. It is a $1 per quarter of a mile charge after the minimum charge, plus a 3% tax on all rides, plus a tip. When I calculated it, for a local ride to a doctor and back, it could be $100 to a senior. I didn't think that is the kind of service that we're looking for a person to pay $100 for this, or $90 or something. And I was just wondering if the information I had was correct, or if anybody is familiar with this service that could give some information.
Gregory Gray for the record. So we did some preliminary research into this. Member Tilzer is correct. Silver Ride is a ride-sharing company that is subcontracted by the RTC to supplement their paratransit program. I know that if you go directly through Silver Ride, those charges are applicable that he mentioned. As far as how it is supplemented through paratransit, it may be best to have someone from RTC come do a presentation about their program and how those rideshare companies are contracted and how they're supplementing those rides. And if it is an additional charge to the paratransit ride, I don't know if the RTC covers that and they're just using the rideshare to supplement the paratransit services. So that's something that we will have to have a presentation on to get some clarification.
Chair O'Rear-Cameron, I think that would be wonderful. Transportation is just a real challenge here, just as much as our housing. So I think if we can look at getting RTC in maybe one of our next 2 meetings, I think that would be very beneficial, so that we can have them break down paratransit, how a person gets themselves, to be approved for it, because we've had issues with that before too on those calls, and then have them discuss with us the Silver Riders, and then also with the Dementia Friends. So if we can kind of coordinate, Greg and you and I, on trying to get those maybe for our next 2 meetings, and I can bump anyone else I've been talking to later in the year, because I think those are hot topics. Does anyone else have any others that we have not already discussed?
I just want to add something.
Caroline Mosteen.
Oh.
Caroline Mosteen, Ward 6. If at all possible, the only thing that has come to my attention from some folks is maybe a review of some of the items that would pertain to seniors that are on the Nevada legislative upcoming board. So if we had someone who could either summarize a couple of the legislative items that are available that might be worthwhile for seniors, that might be a helpful item as well. Excuse me.
Okay, thank you. Linda Young, representing Ward 5. I'm a big fan of education and have been involved in many aspects of education in schools and at all levels. And I'd like to, down the line, just as a discussion and maybe share information with you about early learners. I am now in a couple certification programs for, we call it birth to 8 years of age, and how our seniors, grandmothers, grandfathers, in terms of literacy, can make a big difference in that particular population of young students, and by getting seniors who may have those backgrounds engaged more across generations, to help in a much needed area. So I'm on the couple boards dealing with early learning, and also in several certifications and professional training programs for young students. But I see all that talent in our seniors sometimes goes a little bit wanting, and I like to propose a couple things down the line. Doesn't have to do it right away, but down the line.
Thank you. That's a wonderful suggestion. It's actually been something that has been discussed on this board in the past, and also by our retired vice chair. So she would be really happy to hear that, that you are continuing that discussion. Any other topics that have not been mentioned? Okay, with that, item number 10, citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the board. No subject may be acted upon by the board unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. And seeing and hearing none, we are now adjourned, and our next Senior Citizens Advisory Board meeting is on May 1st, 2025, which is a Thursday, and it will be at 1 p.m. right here at City Hall and Council Chambers. Be sure and invite all of your older adults. Get some more participation.